Okay guys, with this last part we are going to finish the presentation of all types of reported speech. I hope you enjoy it and I hope you can understand it very well. Good luck with the rephrasing. First, we will begin with the orders, okay? One typical order is that it says, my boss said to me, do your job properly, okay? So this is the direct speech. And the reported speech equivalent would be, my boss told me to do my job properly, okay? Here, the first thing we need to notice is the use of the infinitive, okay? Because the infinitive is going to be the protagonist in orders. It doesn't matter which tense we use, we will always need to use the infinitive, okay? So remember, orders, we always use the infinitive, okay? This is very, very important. On the other hand, whenever we have a suggestion in direct speech, such as number 1, she said, let's take a walk, okay? In the reported speech, we need to use one gerund, okay? So the result would be, she suggested taking a walk, okay? So, the gerund is the domain of suggestions, okay? So this is gerund, okay? But not always, because have a look at what happens in sentence number 2. She said, why don't you take a walk? Now here, in number 2, we can't use a gerund. We need a full sentence, okay? She suggested, I take a walk. And why? Because what she suggested is not something that she will do, but something that I, and only I, will do. So whenever the subject here and the subject here are not the same, we need to use a full sentence, okay? Full sentence. So, let's summarize. Whenever we have an order, and when we say an order, we can always include advice as well, okay? Now notice that in the direct speech, we always have an imperative, either in the affirmative or in the negative, okay? Well, the result will always be an infinitive, okay? An infinitive in the affirmative or an infinitive in the negative, okay? Now, one important thing here is also the use of object pronouns, okay? Notice that we can't say our teacher told we. No, that's impossible. It has to be our teacher told us. And the mother ordered them. The mother ordered them not to move from there, okay? Now also notice that there are some changes in the adverbials, okay? Because the changes in adverbials do also apply here, okay? And when we talk about the changes in adverbials, we are talking about the changes in adverbials we already saw when we dealt with the statements, okay? So if you want to have a look at the statements, you can do so now, right? Also notice that changes in tense don't apply here, okay? Among other things, because when we talk about imperatives, okay, when we talk about imperatives, there isn't such a thing as a tense. In the suggestions, you can see the two different ways that we have of doing the rephrasing. On the one hand, we can use the gerund, okay? Although we can also use the full sentence, right? So for example, in this one, okay, my friend suggested, let's go to cinema. We have the two ways, okay? My friend suggested going to the cinema, or my friend suggested that we go to the cinema, okay? I mean, both ways are correct, okay? And on the other hand, this is when the subject of the first sentence is different from the subject of the second sentence, okay, right? Now here we can't use the gerund, so gerund here is possible, okay, and here no gerund is possible, okay? So we have to use a full sentence, okay? Now, the funny thing here is that if we are using a third person, we don't use the typical third person singular s. So instead of saying, my friend suggested that she visits a doctor, which would be incorrect, we must say, my friend suggested that she visit a doctor, okay? And that is called, in English, that is called the subjective, okay? The subjective, and the only particular feature of the subjective is that there is no s for third person singular, okay? Now notice that, again, changes in tense don't apply here, but changes in adverbials do apply here, okay? So for example, if I said in the first sentence, my friend suggested let's go to cinema today, here I would have to say my friend suggested go to that cinema that day, okay? That's something very important, bear in mind, okay?